From the campus of Pickerington Central High School here in Central Ohio, welcome into quarterfinal number 4 of the Division I state tournament. Alongside Richard Skinner, I'm Jason Griefer. Great to have you here with us. Final matchup of the day sees the Centerville Elks, the champions and top seed of the West region, to take on region champion from the North, the St. Ignatius Wildcats. Ignatius comes in 21-5 on the season off of a straight set sweep over Firestone in the North Region Final, 8-18-16. Meanwhile, Centerville comes in, had to go to 4 sets to beat Lakota East, but ultimately won the final 2 sets, 15-11, to get to this point. The records don't always tell the story, though, of the way teams play to get to this point. Ignatius 21-5, a 2 seed out of the North. Centerville, meanwhile, the number 1 seed in the West, but a record of 16-10. But Skinny, that's due to the fact that Centerville, Corey Burgess, the head coach, has played a very difficult schedule to get him ready for a moment like this.
Yeah, even though they're technically not in the same region with St. Xavier and Moeller, they play a lot of the Cincinnati area schools like that to get themselves ready, play just about anybody that they can play in the state. And so I think that's a lot of times in basketball you see this as well. Sometimes you're just not a reflection of your record. You're just trying to get your team the best competition they can to play, and they've gotten the great competition. I mean, their losses this year, they lost to Carroll. We're going to see them later tonight in the Division II tournament. They have a win over Beaver Creek, which just won over Hudson in straight sets. They lost to Centerville, or they lost rather to Northmont, lost to a team from Pennsylvania, lost to Jackson, lost to Dublin Jerome that we saw earlier today, lost to LaSalle, lost to St. Xavier. Those all came in a row. Of late, though, on a 3-match winning streak to get 4-match winning streak to get here.
These are two very, very storied programs. Perhaps the matchup here of 2 story programs. We haven't really had that in our first quarterfinal action here. Obviously, Moeller and Elder, very storied in their respects, but their quarterfinal opponents, Olentangy Liberty and Dublin Jerome, not so much. So for the first time, we'll see a matchup between 2 teams who have a long history here. St. Ignatius in their 14th straight appearance here at the state tournament. They won the title back in 17. Meanwhile, Centerville looking to advance to at least the state Final Four for the 18th time in program history. They've won 3 titles and 4 other times been state runner-ups. So these 2 teams know what it takes to get here. Now the task is get through one another to the next round where number 1 Elder is waiting.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, this is probably for these 2 teams, they're going to face the hardest road of anybody. Playing each other, which is going to be hard enough, then having to beat Elder, and then having to beat either Beaver Creek or Moeller from the other side to win a state championship. So by far, the last quarterfinal of the day, the winner of this still has 2 more really tough matches ahead.
Yeah, this is the hardest draw to get through to that title. As I said, Elder ranked number 1 in the state to end the season. They're waiting in the semifinal, and potentially number 2 Moeller on the other side of the bracket. However, that's going to be a fascinating matchup in the semifinal.
It really is.
Moeller versus Beaver Creek, as Beaver Creek swept Hudson earlier today, and Moeller had to win a 5-setter in the opener today against Olentangy Liberty. But quarterfinal number 4 on the docket in just a moment. Centerville and St. Ignatius, last team into the semifinals on the other side of this brief pause.
Centerville High School. The officials assigned to this game have met all requirements set forth by the Ohio High School Boys Volleyball Association and have been selected for their important role through a system approved by the Board of Directors, which includes involvement of coaches and athletic administrators of participating schools. The officials for this match are first referee, Richard Peck. Second referee, Sterling Kagimoku. Line judge, Brian Washburn. And line judge, Jim Malott. The athletes, coaches, and guests are guests of Pickerington Central High School, and all fans are asked to respect the effort that each of them has put forth preparing for today's contest. We ask all attending to show courtesy and respect for your fellow fans, officials, coaches, those administering the contest, and of course your team and your opponent. As important today as ever, please remember to respect the game. And now, the visitors on your scoreboard, the Wildcats of St. Ignatius. Number 1, Patrick Bailey. Number 2, Paul Engris. Number 3, Andrew Sable. Number 4, Chris Slater. Number 5, Billy Cantor. Number 6, Patrick O'Neill. Number 7, Jared Augustin. Number 8, Sam Brown. Number 9, Sean Bingle. Number 10, Jacob Thomas. Number 11, Sean Gerba. Number 12, Seamus Walsh. Number 13, Luke Bender. Number 14, Jack Hansen. Number 15, Sean Atkinson. Number 16, Will Overberg. And number 34, Liam Walsh. The head coach of the Wildcats is Dominic Adornado. Hosted by Ann Kent, Stephen Stewart, Jessica Gonzalez, Alicia Good, and Brandon Long. And now the home team on the scoreboard, the Elks of Centerville High School. Number 1, Jackson Stevenson. Number 3, Grant Hackner. Number 4, Parker Ring. Number 5, Corey Holbrook. Number 6, Michael Phillips. Number 7, Kevin Whitehead. Number 8, Aiden Burley. Number 9, Andrew Moak. Number 10, Owen Waller. Number 11, Jacob Massey. Number 12, Tate Calhoun. Number 13, Cougar Bowen. Number 14, Alex Martin. Number 15, Zane Greenberg. Number 16, Tyler Steffen. Your head coach, Corey Bird. Your assistant coaches, Laura Ryan, Matt Onweiler, and House, James Ewing, Sarah Skaggs. Good luck to both teams. Let's play volleyball.
Fourth and final quarterfinal about to begin. St. Ignatius against Centerville. The winner gets Elder in the semis, and right before the opening serve takes place, Richard Skinner has our officiating lineup.
Our first referee will be working in the chair. The up referee is Richard Peck. The down referee, Sterling Kaimamuku. Brian Washburn is one line judge, and Jim Malott is the other line judge. This will be the third match that Jim Malott's worked as a line judge today. I think he's the busiest of all the officials here today.
Yeah, he's also likely has an even better eye for things as we get forward into this one. Centerville will be on the left side of your screen wearing the gold jerseys with black lettering, and the St. Ignatius Wildcats will be on the right with blue and gold uniforms and white numbers and lettering.
Guys to watch for Centerville, Aiden Burley, first team All-State selection, number 8. And for St. Ignatius, their main man up front is Sam Brown, who's a second team All-State selection, wears number 8 as well.
And the liberos for action today. For St. Ignatius on the right side of the court, Sean Bingle will be wearing the white libero jersey. And for St. Ignatius, Michael Phillip, the freshman libero, wearing the black jersey. He will start this matchup on the sideline. These two teams did not meet in the regular season, but again, very, very storied programs about to do battle right now. The winner gets Elder in a Sunday Division I semifinal. And Ignatius with the first serve, and Patrick Maley to get things going. Cross court up the line, and trying to go up that sideline was Corey Holbrook, but he misses, and so the first point to the Wildcats.
Kind of a sloppy start right there. That wasn't really a hard one to try to put away. You just got too tight.
And Maley with a miss hit. You could hear the lack of contact on that serve. And so Centerville will now serve for the first time, and junior Parker Rings, who really is essentially the quarterback of this Elks team, the junior setter, to serve for the first time.
Second team All-West selection in the region.
Into the net. Interesting, he was a couple of feet beyond the end line to let that one go. But a couple of service errors back-to-back, and so for Ignatius, it is Sam Brown, second team All-State selection. And he goes into the net, so some early nerves.
So we have a first-team All-Region selection in the North, All-North, Patrick Maley. He hits it in the net. Then we got a second-team All-Stater, Sam Brown hits it in the net, after a second-team All-West selection hits it in the net on the other side of things.
Just as you would expect here in a state quarterfinal. And now a 50-50 ball.
Tough one for Maley.
Yeah, I think he made contact with the net. So sloppy start here for both sides. As Centerville has been here at the facility for a while today. They were, in fact, here for the opening match against Olentangy Liberty and Muller. That was some 6+ hours ago. So they've had to sit and wait for a while. Ignatius arrived much later. But in either case, a slow start for both. This has not been pretty thus far. And appropriately, we're tied at 3.
No team has technically won a point yet. I'm going to feel that's going to be rectified sooner rather than later.
Let's dig in the back. This opportunity a little off on that one, but gets down. Nicely done by O'Neill on the left side. Greenberg got a piece of it for Centerville, but it floats down to the floor.
Yeah, I don't know if he meant to have the change of pace there, just didn't hit it clean, but it did certainly, again, mess with the defense. We've seen that a bunch today.
Yes, we have. A lot of missed timing on the jumps, but a lot of them have worked out. Sean Bingle on serve. That ball hit the tape and then went wide. I heard the double sound there,
yep.
But that was off the tape as it was trying to be played on by Brandon Moat and couldn't do it, and so it's 5-3 in favor of Ignatius.
Yeah, and right now Aiden Burley, their first-team All-State, are in the back line and not up front.
Time to potentially take advantage, and it's played there a bit by Burley, but gets through. An opportunity for Ignatius. And nicely put away by Billy Kander, coming up off the assist from Maley.
I did the North Region games last week where you were doing a different region. I'll tell you what, Patrick Maley, to me, is the second best setter behind Bianco from Elder. I just really like the way he does a lot of different things. And a perfect set right there.
Ignatius is settled in now after a rough start. Centerville still trying to find its way. Nice dig from Bingle. And now Phillip pops it straight up. Quick set to the middle, gets it done to the big fella, Zane Greenberg. Hey, one thing Centerville is not lacking on the floor is size in any position.
Brandon Moat, who's number 9, we saw with a couple of hitting errors. He's 6'4". Burley, we talked about 6'5". Greenberg, who just had that kill right there, he's also 6'5".
Now Michael Phillip, the libero, plays it in. Maley.
Oh, good play.
Somehow kept alive by Burley. Blocked and sent back. Slater and Kander right there to turn it away.
I'm not sure which one got it, but you're right. Both of them timed it perfectly together.
Jack Kanzig, the junior, now on.
Yeah, he's basically a serving specialist. They'll rotate him in for just to basically serve and then rotate him back out soon after.
Left-hander with the first play. That ball going along all the way from Moat was not touched.
Centerville looks a little tight.
Tightness, nerves, and I just wonder how long, considering how long they've been here at the facility.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point.
If they're just cold. Even on a play like that right there, just not looking good.
Nice
to the
play.
back line, put away by Patrick O'Neill. He can really do a lot of damage on the outside, and we're going to have a timeout called by Centerville. Corey Burge looking for answers and maybe just to wake his team up as Ignatius has now scored 6 of the last 7 to take a 5-point lead. Ignatius on a 6-1 run, and Centerville, Skinny, just really is yet to wake up and get itself going here in this opening set.
I mean, they've had a couple of decent attacks. Neither one of them, though, that were able to play it in, but they really haven't been able to set much offensively.
And so with that, Jack Kanzig stays on, and really a serve specialist.
Yep.
When needed, he could step in on the front line as a setter, but this is his specialty. This ball poked to the back line. Kanzig a rough time handling it. And Bingle will just send it deep for the third. That's a smart play from Bingle. Bingle is there again. O'Neill deflected to Phillip. This is Parker Rings cross court. Whitehead through the wall.
We'll see if that's the one that wakes him up. As Grant Hapner's going to rotate back in, or rotate in for the first time to head back to serve. And Moat goes out.
So drop off in size, but not a big deal with Hapner on the back line.
Kanzig also just rotated back out. I mentioned he just comes in for that service opportunity.
Hapner looks to the sideline for his point of attack, and that's not the right one.
Nope.
So even when the Centerville finally shows a little life offensively, they give it right back on a poor service error. Burley out wide, and Bengal can't get there. Aiden Burley finally getting into the act for the Elks.
Good placement. He really didn't hit that great, but it was perfect placement.
Kevin Whitehead now on for service. No spin on that release at all. Near side, that hit off the tape and goes out. Phillip couldn't get it. Nicely done by Sam Brown.
And a great set again for Maley. Maley put that on a perfect spot for him to put it away.
Paul Angert comes in on the back line now, the sophomore defensive specialist.
He too a bit of a serving specialist as well.
Brief delay here. I think we've
got an issue with the ball.
Issue on a ball on the near side. Not the one Angert has in his hands, but the up official, Richard Peck.
He says, let's get that one out of play, I think. Or are they just going to throw it down? Nope, just going to put it down on this end.
So after a brief pause.
I wonder if he heard something weird with it, right? I can't. That's kind of odd that he could spot something like that.
And Angert maybe wished he would have switched with the other ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe in his mind a little too much air in that one as Angert heads out. Chris Slater was momentarily going to come in. Now he rotates out. Sean Bingle back in for Ignatius as Aiden Burley goes on serve. First team All-State player.
Good play by Liam Walsh to dig that.
O'Neal is rejected and it crawls back onto the Wildcats side and Maley has to play it. Holbrook to the back line. Great dive by O'Neal. This is Brown.
Got to play. Nope, can't play it off of that at that point. You can play it if you hit it up there, but
bounced off a beam off the ceiling. And so it's point to Ignatius and a 5-point Wildcats lead.
Maley's only 5'7", but man, he got up to spike that pretty good.
Yes, he did.
And he's back there to serve now.
These strength programs for these schools across the tournament here have been showing out. These kids just respond so well to that, although Maley puts one to the tape here. Parker Rings, the junior setter for Centerville.
Right now, Aiden Burley out on the rotation.
Low flat, wide.
What a ton of errors in this opening set for Centerville.
This has been very, very sloppy for the #1 seed out of the West. Sam Brown on serve for the Wildcats. Bit of a sidewinder. Playable for Rings. Good back set and good location on the strike from Holbrook.
That was perfect because I didn't look at the official. I was looking at the play initially, or the judge rather. It looked wide from up here, but obviously he's got a great angle at it. He put it in there perfectly.
Holbrook once again. Bingle. Tough ball to handle and just could not get there. It was Billy Kander as the ball from Bingle just let him into the net. So now it's Ignatius with an error, and Centerville, despite their very slow start here, got a chance to get within two. Maley.
Oh, nice timing.
Rings got it on the Centerville side. Maley goes cross to O'Neal. Rings is there once more. Phillip. Out of Moat, tough angle, he got it inside the antenna. Phillip is there again, good defense on both sides. Best rally of the match goes the way to the Wildcats as Moat's attempt sails wide on the top side.
Centerville almost appears to be trying to do too much with their attacks and try to be almost too fine.
Really need to get to that point, just need to settle down and really simplify the offense. Bingle. And now a miss here.
Yeah, Greenberg hit that one a hair too far.
Ignatius is not doing anything very exquisite on their side.
But the only thing, they're doing some good things defensively, Jason, but you're right. I mean, it's not like they're setting up a bunch of attacks and a bunch of kills.
No. It's been rather straightforward thus far for Ignatius, and Centerville has been repeatedly coming with the errors. Maley, good back set to the far side, and Kander trying for it and can't get it. Missed it wide.
You notice Maley a lot of times will do a jump set Literally setting it as he's jumping in the air.
That's something you do not see very often. But as good as he is, why mess with it?
There he goes with the jump again.
Yes, it is. And 50-50 ball. Phillip scrambles to keep it alive. Moat cross court and sailed it over. And O'Neal can't get it over.
I will say the one thing, if you give a positive for what Centerville's done so far, is they've done some good things defensively to keep points alive. That's really what's kept them in this first set.
3-point deficit for the Elks. These two teams gifted each other the first 6 points of the match, and then Ignatius took over, and the margin's really been about the same ever since as Kander pushes the lead back to 4 for the Wildcats. Here comes serve specialist Jack Kanzig back in as Kander will head out. Rings across the way. Burley had to get that, just shove it over. Maley tried to do it with his left. Phillip. Nice ball across. It's blocked, though, in the front.
Slater, I think.
Yes, I think so. Chris Slater got it.
We timed that perfectly.
The big fella in the middle for Ignatius pushes the lead for his team out to 5. Rings out wide. Burley. Scramble mode, and it eventually drops. Point to Centerville, and Centerville is figuring out here midway through the set. They have to start getting Aiden Burley more involved in the offense.
First team All-Stater, they got him involved there. I'll tell you, you know who's at the net to try to block that was Maley at 5'7", went up to try to block it. But yeah, I think you're right. You got to get Burley a whole lot more involved, especially now that he's right up front.
That jump set to the left side. Phillip, beautiful dig. And this one could not be dumped over by Burley in the middle. And Centerville just continues to be off with its offense. 18-13, St. Ignatius. Into the tape goes O'Neal. O'Neal's been off to a rather slow start here on his side. Kevin Whitehead's turn. Another service error.
And Brandon Modu just rotated out for Centerville. He might be cramping up, actually.
He's sitting on the
thing, getting a big drink of Gatorade at the moment, trying to stretch himself out.
Yeah, having a seat with his legs stretched out right in front of him.
Well, you mentioned they were sitting around here for a long, long time.
They were. They got here really at the early start of that Moeller-Liberty matchup early on. Nice cross-court pass to Brown.
Good defense again, though. Burley at the net that time.
50-50, and Maley.
5'7".
Boy, I got to tell you, he would make some headlines if he was at the NBA draft combine with that vertical. Are you kidding me?
Little Nate Robinson in him.
You got it exactly right, and it forces Centerville to burn its final timeout of the set as Patrick Maley, little in stature but making the big plays. He has his team up 6 in the opener. St. Ignatius leading this first set 20-14 over Centerville, and a set Centerville has just never really felt in from the start. All angered on serve for Ignatius now. Rings. The pass and the play over. Not a good one from Burley. Burley comes back defensively, though.
You're right. That was a tough one for Burley offensively, so he got very little on it. But how about him coming back with the block?
And we'll see if the All-Stater can go on a service run and try and put some pressure back on Ignatius. Low flat, had some mustard on it though, and Jacob Thomas fires it right to the net. A bit of a low pass from Maley.
It was. I think Thomas jumped a little early too. Good play. Liam Walsh is really good handling service, number 34.
Very playable here for Centerville. Burley from the back, kept alive by Bingle. Centerville will get another crack at it. Rings, dumps it over with the second.
Boy, he read that beautifully, didn't he?
Those have been so well timed by so many setters we've seen here in this quarterfinal round across the board.
Well, Joey Bianco's clearly the best at it from Elder, but that was pretty well done, though, by Rings.
Bailey scrambling to get that and trying to catch the sideline, just missed wide from Sam Brown, and Centerville just keeps chopping away.
They sure do, and it all started with the defensive play by Burley, the block, that got him a point and got him the serve back.
Seems like perhaps that's the wake-up call that Centerville's been looking for.
Walsh, good job again handling that serve.
Brown not there. Where does Rings go? He'll go out wide. Holbrook over and down, and Centerville was within one.
He just powered it through. Jacob Thomas and Maley that time, who went up to try for the block. Well, your All-State performer got you the serve back with that block, and now he's got a serve run going.
And he's here and did not touch it, so...
smart. Got one more redo.
Redo.
It was a terrible toss, and he knew it.
Second serve. Maley with the left and read well by Whitehead. He was ready. Maley reloads.
In. Yep.
Just got it.
Thomas, or for Brown rather. Yeah, Maley on the one where he tried to tip it. I think he just had a tough way to try to set it. I don't think he had any other option than to try to tip that over, which he did, and then came back to set it up beautifully for Brown. So a big stop to the run.
And big stop to the run. Ignatius gets the serve back, and they get Burley off the floor on the rotation.
Yep, sure do.
Substitution. And Patrick Maley to serve. Rings into the middle this time. Beautiful. And delivered by Greenberg.
You know, it feels like we haven't seen a ton of middle action in the whole day, but when we've seen it, it's been money.
Yes. It's amazing how every team seemingly has timed when to go to the middle at the right time.
It's almost like we need a point, let's go to the middle.
Yes. Parker Rings now on serve. Centerville looking for the tie. Ignatius will regroup. O'Neal from the back. It's blocked by Greenberg, and we are tied at 21.
I mentioned when Centerville was struggling, the one thing they were doing was defending pretty well. That kept them around, and now really two big plays for them were the block by Burley and now the block by Greenberg.
Down official Sterling Kamimoka was looking over at Dominic Adornato of St. Ignatius to see if he wanted a timeout here, but he is going to let his kids play it out.
With the ball, they're going to throw one out of play, it looks like. Just to make sure it's still dry.
Perspiration on the ball. And I think Richard Peck up on the stand says we're good. And Parker Rings can somehow put Centerville in the lead if the Elks can take care of this point. Miscommunication. Now the Elks will have a free run at the lead. They have the lead here in the set, and now comes the Wildcats timeout. For all the struggles Centerville has had in this first set, it's been Aiden Burley leading the charge back, and now late in the set, the Elks have taken a 1-point lead. Centerville has charged back here late thanks to their All-State performer Aiden Burley. He's on the sideline for the moment, but he has led the charge back as Centerville is in the lead here late in the first, 22-21.
Their defense has really led the charge back. Right now, St. Ignatius doesn't know if they can hit through them anymore because they just keep getting blocked.
Parker Rings there. Maley out wide to Kander.
Well, again, got two guys there. You tried to hit it through, but you didn't hit down because you're afraid of the block, and they're in their head right now.
It's that size up front for Centerville really starting to have its impact, along with really good defensive play on the back.
Yeah, two quick blocks. Greenberg's block and Burley's block, I think, have changed everything.
Rings, one of the far side. Maley slipped. And still got a good pass on, but that is blocked on the far side by Holbrook. And out of nowhere, Centerville now has 3 set points.
They're not saying Ignatius cannot get anything offensively. They're going to take another timeout because of it.
Yeah, why not? If it's their second and final, Centerville has found its groove here late in the first. They'll try and close it out on the other side of this pause. Centerville is taking command here late in the set. It can now close it out as they lead 24-21 over St. Ignatius. It's been the size up front and the defense in the back for Centerville that has really taken a stranglehold of this first set.
Yeah, we can talk about all the guys at the net, but Michael Phillip, you're right, he on the backside has been really good as well.
Maley The back set blocked, and it'll be off the dome of Sam Brown. And Centerville only needs one try to close out the opening set. The Elks are alive and well. They take set one, storming back for a 25-21 win over St. Ignatius. Before we get to set two, though, let's take a look at our region all-stars. Centerville asserted itself midway through the first set and on, and Skinny really came back to that defensive play from Aiden Burley, getting a block after a misplay offensively. And once he got the ball rolling, Centerville was unstoppable.
Yeah, then Greenberg with a block, and then Holbrook with a couple of blocks. I think the last 10 points, 4, maybe 5 were on blocks.
And for the other side, St. Ignatius spent the rest of that set scrambling, just trying to figure things out.
That's what I want to see how they try to switch this up at the moment. And they just really can't. I mean, they're in their head at the net at the moment.
Yeah, didn't really see a lot of confidence from Brown on that run. The pass was maybe a little low, but Brown looked a little tentative.
Well, then you start looking around, where can I find my spot to hit? And you take your eye off of it sometimes.
You just unable to do both at the same time. Rings has been a long service run, and now Bingle misreading. And St. Ignatius, I think to your point, Skinny, Centerville is in their heads right now.
I just don't know where they think they can attack.
It's a great point. And they're trying to figure that out. While Centerville just keeps the pressure on. The Elks with the first two. 50-50, Maley not able to do anything with it though. Rings behind the moat. It's back on the floor after missing the latter stages of the first set.
Another block.
There you go.
Holbrook and Greenberg. It's either Holbrook or Greenberg, or it's Burley, or it's Moat. I mean,
it's nice to have so many 6'5" interchangeable pieces.
And they're strong. That's the other thing. You can be tall. If you don't have the strength up there to knock it back the other way, you can be played through, but right now, they are slamming it back the other way.
Yeah, some of these guys out here are grown men. They're flexing some muscle right now. Here is Brown. Again, not much on that. Michael Phillip has done a heck of a job on that back line for Centerville. Maley to the back line. Try to stop. Phillip can't get that one. O'Neal's best strike of the match.
But those are tough points to get right there if you're trying to pinpoint that back line all the time. They needed to get something, and they got a big point to at least take a deep breath for a moment.
If you want to try and get it over the front line, you've got to start using the offense from the back.
Yep.
Maley on serve. That's a good serve.
Really good serve.
And a miss hit here from Holbrook.
If I'm Centerville, I may just say, I'm going to just shoot it back across nice and easy, and then we'll play defense because we're better off doing that. Because their hitting errors have been a ton.
And Ignatius right now really not forcing him into any kind of scrambles either to get him out of system. And Maley sails one long. This is Corey Holbrook. Brown trying to muscle that one through. Phillip with the good back set to Whitehead.
It's really nice.
That ball was going long, and it was played anyway by O'Neal at the back.
I think you're right, Jason. That was going long. That was a really good play, though, by Daniel. Or by Phillip, rather.
And Phillip on that back line, a libero. He's a freshman playing at this high of a level. Great pass. Through, and that hit the antenna. The ball got through off the hand of Kander.
I think off the ricochet is why it did.
Yeah. And Centerville with 6 of the first 8 here in this second set. The Ignatius bench
trying to last 12 in the first.
Absolutely. The run keeps going. Brown, Phillip bumps it up.
Nice
Rings
play.
will set it through. Phillip again. This will be 3.
Yep, he got it over.
Where does Maley go this time? Little off the mark to Brown, and through Modi off.
Save this.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me from Centerville? They'll get the point to Ignatius that time, but what scrambling from Centerville. Really the first time we've had to see him do it, and they've had the coverage. Holbrook just seemingly all over the place right now.
Good job by Sam Brown, though. That was a good swing, and he got it just to an angle enough to where they couldn't get a clean block on it.
Easy serve receive.
Oh,
Good
Bailey.
dig.
That's long.
That's a perfect example of what we're talking about with St. Ignatius being out of sorts. That's an easy ball over for Brown, and even that is well off. And Michael Phillip, who has been brilliant on the back line for Centerville, now will serve it in. 7 of the first 10 to the Elks. Serve receive, not a good one. And Brown is having all kinds of problems right now. And I think, Skinny, it's starting to creep more for him specifically onto the mental side of things.
Second team All-State selection, so you know he's a talented player. I got a chance to watch him last week and watch that talent, but right now just a little out of sorts.
You wonder how much longer Dominic Adornato will stay with this momentum for Centerville before he thinks about a timeout. Good ball over, but it's blocked. Moat got it there, as did Burley.
Oh, I think he touched the net.
It did, yes.
But again, they're right there. That's one of those ones where in basketball you go, you know what, go ahead and goaltend about 5 more. I'll be good with it because then they'll stop shooting it. And I think right there, hey, you gave the point up, but you played it perfectly defensively.
Yeah, I think Corey Burge is thinking that same thing over there on the Centerville sideline. That the result is fine. They were right where they needed to be. Just a little unlucky. Moat took a little off to make sure. Maley with the run up, and O'Neal, no. The size continues to be the factor up front.
Oh, good play defensively there.
Ignatius returning the serve. Moat to the back, kept up by Maley. Long again from Brown. These aren't even close.
Nope. Again, I think he just realizes there's too many people at the net. Even when you're playing it from the back line, maybe put a little more touch on it, but
his coach, Dominic Adornato, he's telling him, just settle down. You're okay. Dingle cut in front right there. I'm surprised at that. Free ball here for Centerville. Phillip gets called for the double.
Yeah, he did. He knew it.
He was looking to set up Whitehead. Couldn't do it. 9-5 in favor of Centerville.
Well, here comes the service specialist, Jack Kanzig, back.
He had a nice service run midway through that first set. Not going to matter here, though. And that's the thing I'm noticing as we go along further into this match, Skinny. These misses for St. Ignatius are not even close. When they miss, they are missing completely, whether it's in live action or on a serve. Whitehead with some top spin. This ball's going back over, and Ignatius will take the full 3 into the middle. It's sent back, and there's Burley. Slater's got to come stronger with that against Aiden Burley, and now a timeout called by Ignatius. It is all Centerville here in set 2, 11-5, the Elks in command. Welcome back out of the timeout. Centerville on serve with an 11-5 lead after the Elks rallied back to take the first set, 25-21. This is the 4th quarterfinal in Division I. The winner gets Elder in a Sunday semifinal. Haley, good ball out wide and up the sideline, and I like that changer for Ignatius. Out of the timeout, O'Neal goes up the sideline. We've not seen Ignatius do that here today thus far.
Yeah, let's see if they stick with that.
Now O'Neal back to play it in. Rings quickly, middle Burley. Great defense on the Ignatius side from Chris Slater.
Slater went up to meet that one. That looked like a big-time swing from Burley, which it was, but Slater met him at the top.
Rings has to hustle for this one. The back set is blocked again. Slater is there. Slater trying to do for his team what Aiden Burley did for Centerville in the first set. Use your defense to spur you on, and it's 3 in a row for the Wildcats out of the timeout.
Oh, wow.
Unlucky for O'Neill.
I mean, how many times we see serves like that hit the net and flip the other way to get you the point on the ace? That one got caught up and got spit right back at St. Ignatius.
If O'Neill asked to see if there's enough air in that one.
Yep.
That hit the tape and just died. Maley, good set, trying to be pushed to the back line, not there. Holbrook took a little off. Good read by the senior Corey Holbrook.
Yep, was going to go with the big swing, went with the change of pace, and dumped it right in there.
Aiden Burley on serve, first team All-State in his final high school go-around. And an ace. There you see here, Sam Brown just left Sean Bingle out on an island on the sideline.
That serve, I think, left him on the island. That thing was curving 15. That was like a triple breaker putt. Thing was all over the place.
Misses long this time, does Burley. And so back over to Ignatius.
And Paul Angert's going to rotate back in. He, too, a service specialist, if you will. He and Kanzig.
Right now, Ignatius in a spot where they need a service specialist to do his job and then some.
And then some.
Boy, how about some muscle from Parker Rings going over with the second. That was read well by Ignatius, but again, Skinny, to your point earlier, that Centerville front line just too strong.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what it is.
Rings will now go back to serve as Angert heads out for Ignatius. 15-9, Elks in control. Brown had a good run at it, but it's kept alive. Not the best pass here, and hit a banner up above as it was floating toward Moat and actually landed on the back of Rings.
Yeah, they can play it off the banner, but the banner threw them off with their timing.
Centerville continues to have no problems with serve receive, and it'll pay dividends here as Holbert goes up the line. Bingle couldn't get it.
That was just in by the skin of its teeth, but right where the line judge is standing.
Ignatius, not anything there. We'll see where Phillip goes here, out to Moat. He's been quiet here today, but Maley now struggling, and that was not a particularly difficult ball to go get.
Yeah, but they had really no offensive attack on the possession before that on their side of the net. Tried to play it from the back line, and again, that's just that domination of the front line of Centerville.
One given back by Holbrook. Sam Brown really needs to get himself going.
He took a long look at the scoreboard just now.
Understanding it's a critical point in the match, and he has not played well here today.
Good serve there, though.
Rings, though, in good position, and it's put away by Greenberg. Great serve receive again on the back line. Holbrook played it beautifully ahead to Rings. That's got to be even more frustrating for Brown. And to your point, that was a good serve, and it was just better defended.
Yeah, the receive was really good.
Here's Phillip. You can hear the thud off the hand of Kander, and no touch from Centerville.
Well, and here's the thing. Two guys go up for the block. He tries to hit over top of them, and where does it go? Past the end line.
You've got to start challenging these guys up front.
That's your only chance.
Just signals to me a lack of aggressiveness or a desire to be aggressive. That's how you do it right there, but it's saved by Centerville.
But again, they got the...
It'll be a net violation against Moat. But even so, right there, challenging them, put Centerville in scramble mode.
Yeah, and that's the only way you're going to be able to score some points off of this. You just can't try to kid over top all the time. Just keep hitting through and hope you get them in scramble mode or hope you get the right deflection.
Bingle to serve with his team down 7. Rings quickly in the middle, and was that touched? No, Burley just missed it and mistimed his jump in doing so.
Yeah, he completely missed on that one. That was just way too early, just barely got a piece of it and went sideways in a hurry.
19-13, Centerville with the lead. Whitehead going to the back line. Brown plays it. Maley over to O'Neal. Cross court. Open opportunity. Interesting decision by Rings to go with the second. 50-50. Nice read up front by Chris Slater. He has been the saving grace for St. Ignatius in this second set.
He really has been. That was a great job to go up and be aggressive to tip that back across.
Gets the team back within 5. Maybe 1 or 2 more, and Corey Burge over at Centerville might want to think about a timeout. Burley doesn't get it over.
I think if he had, Slater was there to meet him anyway.
Slater reading the ball very well in the middle. Centerville now.
I think 1 more point, you'll get a Centerville timeout here.
Extended run here for St. Ignatius. Moat on the back, up the line, and got it.
Yeah, I thought that was in too. I like the fact that Bingle tried to sell it.
Gave Ignatius some brief life, but the deficit has just been proven to be too much thus far in this set. They're out of sequence. Tough pass out wide. It's kept alive by Maley.
It was a good play by Maley to keep it alive. Now it's got to get it across. They did.
Slater,
but a free opportunity here.
Burley in the middle and on the back line. Sam Brown just having all kinds of issues. Had his feet glued to the floor there, and now a timeout called by St. Ignatius. The Wildcats in deep trouble and on the verge of going down 2-0 in this quarterfinal. Back in action here late in set number 2. Centerville on serve with a 21-15 lead over St. Ignatius, trying to move ahead 2-0 in the match.
St. I don't think was a line for that serve. That came quick.
Rings out. Whitehead. Woo. Maley just couldn't get out of the way.
Yeah, I think he was trying to, too. I don't think he was trying to play it. I think he was just trying to get out of the way of it.
Well, the scenario, the ball caught him.
That's not good in volleyball.
No, it's not. Blocked.
Of course it is.
Burley, but out.
Yep. But still,
again,
that's still in your head.
The coverage is there.
Yep.
22-16 in favor of Centerville. Jack Kanzig on serve.
St. I can't afford any sloppy errors here. They got to make Centerville earn anything.
Whitehead hit a bit of a stutter step, but still made it happen.
Yeah, this defense for Centerville has been probably the most impressive thing I've seen in 4 matches today.
No doubt. Oh, the slide this time. Ignatius trying to change things up. And talk about changing things up.
Ring said, "You're going to try to do something tricky to me? I'll do it to you."
8 set points for the Centerville Elks. They only needed 1 in the first set. Whitehead misses badly.
Yeah, he probably should have done what Burley did on the one and just stop his run and give himself another chance. That was a tough toss to try to hit.
Now it's Patrick O'Neal for Ignatius. Set point number 2 for Centerville. Burley out. Did not miss by much.
Good decision by Bingle. I mean, even if you stick a hand out and try to play it, you're not going to be able to play it with any degree of success.
Probably a better chance of losing an arm than making it playable. Set point number 3. Trying to punch it as the pass was not the best from Rings.
Yeah, that was. I'm not going to call that one on Holbrook. I think that was on Rings because it just put him in a really tough spot where the only thing he could do was punch at it.
3 down, 5 to go for Ignatius here in the set. Set point number 4 for Centerville. Rings sets up Burley. They won't need another. Had to figure it was only a matter of time before Centerville closed the deal, and now the Elks win set 2, and they are 1 away from a semifinal as Centerville takes set 2 over St. Ignatius 25-19. And while we pause for the set break, let's take a look at our state All-Stars. Centerville takes set 2 25-19 over Ignatius to move ahead 2 sets to none in this quarterfinal. And Skinny, you look at the margin, a 6-point margin in that second set, but we never got the feeling Ignatius was in it.
No, they almost got to the point where we were thinking timeout, and then they got the kill from Moat. And from that point forward, that just kind of settled Centerville back in, and they were able to easily close that match out, or close that set out, rather.
Patrick Maley gets things going here in the set, and a miss hit from Zane Greenberg.
That's the one fly in the ointment today for Centerville. They have not been especially great offensively in attacking. And that was just a bad swing from Greenberg.
A little inconsistent there at times, especially in that middle. This ball's going to go over, and just too much size. Parker Rings up there. Thomas tried to get it for Ignatius, but Rings had the better read on it and timed his jump better.
Timed it perfectly. You're right. I mean, I thought that was an easy one for Ignatius to play, and all of a sudden Rings beats him to the jump. But they're so big. Rings 6'4", Greenberg 6'5", Burley 6'5", Moat 6'4". They always have a bunch of size at the net, no matter the rotation.
Phillip gets that one as he collided with a teammate, and it doesn't matter. 2 guys for Centerville hit the floor on that dig, and they still wind up coming away with the point as Rings got it to Whitehead.
Yeah, well, I've gushed about their frontline defense. You've gushed about their backline defense, and that was a play made really by the backline.
That ball is out.
I don't think it was touched. Yeah, point to St. Ignatius.
Looking at the way this match has played out thus far, I am baffled at how Parker Rings was only a second-team region honoree.
Yeah, Holbrook was a first-teamer. Burley, obviously, first-team All-State, so he was too.
Yeah. Goes to show you the quality of some of the players in that West region. Nicely played in the back line by Thomas. And Ignatius is looking for any kind of spark right now. They do have an early lead of 3-2.
We saw Olentangy Liberty come from 2 sets down to force a 5th. And actually have match point in that 5th set against Moeller before Moeller pulled it out. In.
So Neal now starting to come into the play. And a nice start for Ignatius. Long way to go, but you have to start somewhere.
Well, we saw Liberty get that momentum all of a sudden in the 3rd set against Moeller, and they just kept it rolling until Moeller was able to gut it out.
Brown's tough day continues.
Yep.
And they just continue to put up the unforced errors. And now it's Holbrook. The combination of Holbrook and Whitehead have been very impressive for me, the way this match has gone. As is that libero, Michael Phillip. Moat has been quiet until now.
But Moat's probably, their 3rd option offensively a lot of times?
That's quite a luxury.
Right? I mean, yeah.
What would Ignatius do to get him on their side right now? I guarantee you they'd be force-feeding him the ball a lot if that was the case, but it is not, and Holbrook serves this one wide. Get the feeling here in the gym that Ignatius is just waiting to get on a little bit of a run, a 4 or 5 point run.
Yeah, I think for them to do that, though, it's going to take a bunch of Centerville errors.
It really feels like that at this point. It's just Ignatius looking for a run like that to get themselves back into this match.
There's a chance for a point.
Good back set. Playable. Rings looking for Holbrook. And there you go.
Now, Holbrook made the defensive play to set himself up. He's the one that started that sequence and then finished it with a little dump.
Outside of Michael Phillip right now on the floor, you can't point to anybody in gold and say they're a specialist in one area.
Right.
They're all well-rounded. 5-all. Slater trying to push it over. It's sent back, and Ignatius reloads. It's deflected, and good read by O'Neal to go cross-court.
I think that's their best opportunity. Instead of going straight at them, even if you're going down the line, try to get yourself some kind of angle where they can't get a clean piece of it. It's hard. It's easier said than done. That's hard to do, but that's a start right there by O'Neal because he played that one beautifully.
Now Kanzig on, the serve specialist. Rings going out wide to Burley. And left short by O'Neal, and that's size again.
Yeah, from where our vantage point is, and we're high enough above the gym, you can, the chair referee blocks us out, and so all I see is 4 hands going up at the same time, and it looks daunting from up here. I can only imagine what it looks like to St. Ignatius.
4 hands and a blur of gold.
Yep.
6-6. Maley trying something different. Phillip is ready for it. Good scramble. And Ignatius will get it over, but it's a free one. Rings goes with the left. Good read by Walsh. O'Neal cross court. This one too hot for Phillip. And a violation at the net anyway. And in either case, Ignatius in the lead at 7-6.
And Corey Burge, I thought he was yelling at Daniel or Michael Phillip for a minute, but he was not. He was actually talking to his frontline guys for the angle they took.
Burley. Pass led him toward that far post, and just too much of an angle to cut.
I think if I gets this point right here to go up 3, I think you get yourself a timeout. You don't want them to get momentum like we saw. I mean, Liberty got on such a roll against Moeller, it felt like they were never going to get stopped.
The quality of teams here, if you leave that door cracked, the ability is there to kick it in. Burley on the slide this time, but right there is O'Neal. Phillip gets it. Reloading is Whitehead. Brown. No. One of his cleaner strikes.
Yeah, it sure was.
But still just cannot find it.
I think he's so trying to aim it away from the blockers that he's more worried about that than anything else.
I think at some point Dominic Adornato is just going to have to tell Brown to start cutting it loose.
Yep, and just take your chances with it.
Walsh, indecisive. This will be a free one for Centerville. Pass leading the man up into the net.
Maley at 5'7" went up that time.
Wow. And that's the thing. That's got to give that should give a shot in the arm to the other guys up front. If Maley's willing to go up and challenge like that, you've got to start answering the call to help him out. 9-7 Ignatius. And Angert on for the serve. And into the net. Didn't even catch the tape.
And he rotates in as a service specialist. He and Kanzig, that's a little disappointing for him, and he knows it.
Bingle back in. And Aiden Burley.
Oh, nice play to get that serve.
From the back, going long is O'Neal.
Yeah, this is one of those all-or-nothing serves, man. He has just got some force on this bad boy. We've seen him serve it out a couple times, too. Yeah, we've seen the bad toss a couple times.
Low toss that time. Love when the bench gets fired up. Say, hey, congratulations for not faulting on the serve. But Bingle somehow was able to get a hand on that.
That's a tough one. I don't even know what to tell him.
It's so close to that line, you have to go for it.
Oh, sure, he had to play it. It's just a tough one to play. And you're trying to deaden it enough to give yourself a chance to counterattack.
And now Centerville is in the lead, and Burley comes near side. Maley, a very playable ball into the middle. And Burley fires it into the net. 10-10 here in the third.
Well, they're back to their serving starting point if Patrick Maley.
Greenberg missing. He's been a little off since that first set run. Pretty easy one there for him to go after on that slide, but Caught that down on the palm. Awkward first play.
Yep. Oh, that was going to go out.
Ricochets.
Oh, nice play by Maley to read it.
Playing Plinko off the beams. Quick set. What a dig in the back. Brown. I think that was tipped, so it had to be played in the back.
And that's all from Patrick O'Neill to save it on the back line to begin with. That was a great play. Brown gets credit for the put away, but it was really Patrick O'Neill who saved the day on the back line.
Patrick Maley to serve. Catches some tape. Maley with the back set this time. Cross court. Phillip in perfect position. Brings a pass across and wide. And so Ignatius pushes the lead out to 3 and showing some strong resolve here. And I think Centerville's going to take a timeout. So Ignatius, fighting for its life, has moved ahead again here midway through the third. They lead Centerville 13-10 here in this quarterfinal. A little momentum right now for the St. Ignatius Wildcats, leading by 3 here in the third at 13-10.
Their defense has been pretty good here in this third set, too. That was O'Neill really made a great play just a moment ago to set his team up for a point, but he's targeted with defense.
It's been the combination of Chris Slater and Jacob Thomas in the middle for Ignatius, leading the defense, and Maley out of the timeout, fires it long.
There's that timeout working for you.
Just have that feeling right now that in order for Ignatius to feel good about their chances in this set, they've got to get out to a lead of maybe 5 or 6. You just have that feeling the way the first 2 sets have gone that a Centerville run is coming. Maley into the middle, and there is Thomas.
Yep, Jacob Thomas put that perfectly. I think right now, just swing. If it gets blocked, it gets blocked.
Centerville has been the team dictating things since that midway point of the first set. It's a good serve from Brown, but handled perfectly by Phillips. Greenberg didn't catch it clean. Far side, blocked it through the wall.
Just swing it.
That's Billy Kander that time. And now the lead is up to 4.
Now you can swing freer, right? I mean, it's not as intimidating when you get a couple through.
Going back over. Opportunity for the Wildcats. Kander through again. It's one of those situations where, an analogy to basketball, if you see a guy struggling to make a basket, they just need to see one go in.
Yep.
And Ignatius has found something here in the third and a 5-point lead. Not the best toss from Brown, but he got away with it. Didn't quite lead himself into that serve, I think, the way he wanted, but still caught the back corner, and the lead is up to 6. Look at this four-man alignment on the back line for Centerville. Whitehead through the tape, playable. Blocked. Kander, blocked. And stays in, caught the line.
Holbrook and Greenberg. But I like it. They were aggressive. Just stay aggressive with it. Just tip your cap to Centerville sometimes.
Good lateral movement from the front for Centerville that time to snap the Ignatius run.
But now just play defense and just alternate some points and you're home free. Or not.
Whitehead says, I'll take that. The quick and easy points, Ignatius cannot afford to give up. Right. Caught some tape. Bingle to the right thing going down. Maley, great set. That is a great play by Patrick Maley and first Sean Bingle, and O'Neill closes it out.
So you trade points there. That's what you talked about. Get yourself a lead and kind of just play it the rest of the way out like this.
That's all you need to do.
I want to watch number 6, Michael Phillip, though, the way he handles serves. He does a great job just to deaden it when he gets an opportunity.
He won't get an opportunity here. Here's Whitehead. That was tipped, and so had to be played.
Yep.
Kander and Slater were both in good position up front. Just couldn't get it.
Well, now you got rotating back in, first-team All-Stater Aiden Burley, number 8, as he comes in on the rotation. And this is where Centerville, if it's going to make its move to finish this match out, needs to do so.
.50-50 ball, and that's advantage to Centerville as Maley went up to challenge it, and he got it last.
Yeah, and it was a little bit even towards the Centerville side, so I don't think he had any chance whatsoever to really play that. Burley just too big and strong at the net.
18-15, Ignatius with the lead. Brown from the back. Not even sure that got over, and it didn't.
It did not, yeah, it did not.
Well, Sam Brown, it's just not been his day.
No, Burley was there to meet it, I think, anyway, but he smacked it right into the net.
Centerville back within 2. Boy, Phillip didn't catch that clean.
Nope.
Blocked by Moat. And the defensive front for Centerville starting to assert itself once again.
It's so funny because really Phillip's serve is a very playable serve to set an attack up, and they really haven't taken the opportunity. He does nothing fancy. He just basically flips it across and says, play it, we'll play defense.
Bingle up off the biceps. Kander through the wall. There you go.
He's been probably the most aggressive guy up there, right?
I don't think it's been close. From the offensive side of things, absolutely. He's going to head out now.
Kanzig comes in to serve.
And even with that little bit of swing back to Centerville, it's still a 2-point Ignatius lead. Phillip handles it there. You talk about skinny perfectly.
Perfect.
Burley, that never got over. Slater was in good position regardless.
Dude, the way Phillip just handles that serve, he gives his team a chance to counterattack nicely. They didn't take advantage of it.
Rings just leaves it up for Moat. Not the best pass, but Ignatius still has to scramble. Kanzig over on the third.
Ooh, miscommunication.
Rings, oh, that's a tough one to play, and Moat made net contact.
Yeah, he did. I was going to say, how in the world did he not? And the down ref called it.
Sterling Kamimoku all over that. (21-17), Ignatius in the lead. Phillip, probably his poorest serve receive of the match. And I think Centerville is going to take a timeout here.
Yep.
And that is indeed the case. It'll be the second and final timeout for the Elks as Ignatius with its season on the line showing life and leading by 5 late in the third. St. Ignatius trying to keep its season alive, 3 points away from pushing Centerville to a 4th set. Jack Kanzig on serve. He has been St. Ignatius' best server of the day. Rings to Burley.
Oh, Maley with a play.
Boy, how'd that get over and in play? Moat pokes it through. And a bit of indecisiveness there as Slater played one up front. Looked like Bingle was in position for.
Well, Centerville, though, has been out of sorts offensively. We talk about how great they've been defensively. They just are not getting a chance to, even on sets, to really get much into their hits.
They've been relying upon their defense to get them where they are. Whistle blew and net violation. I think they got Burley.
Oh, they did. You're right.
I heard the whistle blow.
I heard the whistle blow, too. I didn't think there was anybody over there, but apparently, yeah, I mean.
I was waiting for the official to signal the number.
Yeah, Coach Burge was telling him he did it.
And into the net now from O'Neill. Still a 4-point lead for Ignatius, just 2 away from taking the third.
Like we saw with Liberty, you take this third, man.
Whitehead to serve it. Walsh handles it nicely. Brown, that's his best strike of the match when his team needed it, and now 5 set points for St. I.
Yeah, I think they deked him at the front line that time. They had another runner from behind Maley, that they all kind of looked more at, and that gave the free pass to get the swing off.
Paul Angert to try and send us to a 4th set. Rings rejected.
How about that? It was Brown and Thomas.
And so St. Ignatius not dead yet.
Nope.
They will send us to at least a 4th set as they take the 3rd from Centerville 25-19. Before the 4th begins, let's take a look at our academic all-stars. Ignatius keeps his season alive, winning set 3, 25-19. And Skinny, I thought that 3rd set there, particularly Centerville's defense, took a step down a little bit.
Yep.
And not helping themselves on the other side because they've been struggling really offensively for much of the match.
Yeah, I give Ignatius credit. There's a good start for Centerville. I'll give Ignatius credit, though, man.
Yeah.
They stayed aggressive, and that aggressiveness paid off. But, yeah, I think some of it is Centerville's offensive attack just has not been great all day. It's been their defense.
And as good as your defense is, at some point you've got to be able to score. But still, Centerville leads the match. Maley out to Brown. Good scramble in the back once again. Phillip plays it high to get the defense reset. Maley on the slide goes Thomas. And it's over to Centerville.
I like the aggressiveness, though, by St. Ignatius. Just keep swinging.
That's what got him the 3rd set win.
Yep.
This is Parker Rings. Caught a little tape. O'Neal from the back. That's going right to the net, and Greenberg was all kinds of turned around. Outside of that 1st set run for Centerville, Zane Greenberg has struggled mightily up front.
He got himself completely turned around. He's been great defensively. Got a couple 3 blocks, maybe even a little bit more than that.
There's another excellent serve receive from Phillip. And through the wall goes Corey Holbrook on the near side.
Well, there you go. Maybe that gets Centerville restarted offensively.
3-1, the Elks lead. And Corey Holbrook to play it in. He and Whitehead have been 2 major reasons why Centerville leads in the match.
Oh, Maley read that beautifully.
Little off that time. Rings with the one-hand tap, and just not able to get there is Moat.
Maley saw the dump down coming and ran right to the spot where it was going to be dumped down. He saved the point for St. Ignatius.
Sam Brown. Playable ball. Quickly, and there's Greenberg off of a beautiful serve receive and then a perfect pass to Rings.
Maybe I'm just naive about volleyball. It feels like anytime you want to set that middle up, it's been a killer all day, that quick middle set for everybody that we've watched.
Still amazed at the fact, too, with this guy on serve, that Michael Phillip is just a freshman.
Yeah, he's
playing the way he is. Yes, he has. I mean, you're looking at if he keeps developing an all-state performer at some point in his career. Down to the floor goes Centerville. Rings into the middle. Burley mistimed the jump. A reload. Moat near side. Both teams scrambling until Kander fires one wide.
Good opportunity there for St. Ignatius. Kander's been probably their most efficient guy at the front line. He just sent it wide.
Centerville leading 5-2, and you just feel right now the opportunities are there for Ignatius, and they are just not capitalizing. Maley. This time it is capitalized upon by Thomas.
Yeah, he went right through the wall. And part of that wall was Burley, the first-team All-Stater, number 8. Flexing his shoulder, looks like a little bit right now. His right shoulder.
Yeah, holding that top of that shoulder. Be an interesting one to keep an eye on. Bingle with the service. Moat. His shoulder's fine.
That sounded good.
Yeah, it did. We've not had a high number of clean strikes in this match.
from either team.
Yeah, and that one may be the cleanest.
Sure sounded the part.
It did. Grant Hapner down to serve. That gobbled up Bingle. but still playable.
Yeah, but a free opportunity now for Centerville to set something up.
Burley again mistimed his jump, and a lift will be called against Billy Kander of St. Ignatius.
Yeah, I don't know if Parker Rings sets off a little bit. Maybe that's it, or you're right. Maybe it's just mistimed jumps. But they've had that was an easy set, and they just kind of misplayed it and got lucky.
Much better set that time, and Kander delivers the goods.
And there was only one blocker on that side, Whitehead. Instead of the two blockers we've seen that you have a chance to go up, and that gave Kander the easy opportunity just to circumvent the two hands instead of four.
Yeah, Phillip floated towards that far side, and a good read by Kander to cut the angle. 7-4 in favor of Centerville. Burley on the slide just shoves that one forward. And the whistle is blown at the net as a double is called.
Yep. It's unfortunate for St. Ignatius because I think they were going to get the point out of that.
8-4 in favor of the Elks. Maley with that jump set, and not much on that attempt from Slater. It was defensed well by Holbrook, but Slater did not get a good swing on that. (9-4). Whitehead to play it in. Brown from the back. Not there again, just leaving them all short.
Yeah, that was into the net, right?
Yeah, it was.
As I said, I think it was blocked. Burley was up there, but
Dominic Adornato of St. Ignatius looking at his bench. I think maybe discussing, do I take a timeout?
Double hit.
I think you got to take one now.
Yeah, now you got to take one. I'm with you.
Sterling Kamimoku looking, and there is the timeout. And Centerville, once again, it's defense making plays, but now the offense starting to find some momentum. Ignatius back to the drawing board, down 7 here in set number 4. Centerville stretching a lead out here in the 4th, now at 11-4. With Kevin Whitehead on serve, trying to keep it going.
For St. Ignatius, now you got to dig deep.
Maley near side. This is O'Neal, and able to get it through the hands of Rings.
Yep. Rings and Burley were up there, but he made a good swing at it. I will say, since the third set started, they have been more aggressive in just saying, to heck with it, we're just going to try to swing through you.
Rings, a very playable ball. That is such a good run from Rings to get in position to leave that up for Holbrook.
That was a good hit by Holbrook as well.
And it was. And you're seeing there the willingness of Centerville to go right at the front line of St. Ignatius. I think if you're Ignatius, you've just got to let it go even more than you have.
Yep.
Burley serves it long.
You're going to get angered into serve number 2. One of the other serving specialists, seeing Kanzig rotate in to do that. They need him to get on a run.
And Centerville subsequently sends Aiden Burley out and Michael Phillip back in. It's interesting how Ignatius continues to target Michael Phillips with these serve receives, and he has been handling all of them with rather ease. As Anger gets called for a lift, you could have called him for a double.
Yep.
Take your pick. But I'm just amazed that Ignatius has not tried to go another direction with their serving target.
I mean, literally, other than the time I praised him and he didn't handle a service well, he's handled it well every other time. I mean, he really has. Not just well, he's handled it to the point where they can recounter.
As you said earlier, just deadens that ball upon arrival when moving it up to Rings. And now that pair is on the back line with Rings playing it in. Good serve. Brown at the net, but he made contact.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's one of his best swings of the day.
Just that kind of day.
Yep.
I don't think there was any doubt about it.
No, he did. He definitely did. I think he was so excited to get a clean swing at it. He just, momentum took him forward.
Yeah, the defensive line was not there. 8 points, Centerville lead. They'll go back to Brown again. Took a little off. Moat was there. Dug out nicely in the back by O'Neal. Brown, far corner, long.
Just not his day. Second team All-State selection, first team All-North Region selection.
It happens from time to time, but Just the wrong time for the Wildcats. They find themselves down 9 here in the fourth.
Just a junior, though. Ooh, tough set.
There you go. The left right into the arm of Moat.
Yeah, that was a tough set, too, because it took his momentum towards the sideline, and I think that's the only way he could have played that was with the left hand.
But just put it into the wall and just waited to see what happened as opposed to trying to dump it over the top, which he's been so reliant upon throughout the match.
Long way to come back for St. I, and you got your best server trying to do it.
Moat falling back. Good back set to Kander. It's blocked, and there's the front line again as Holbrook got it. Greenberg was lurking.
Those are the two best defenders, in my opinion. That's not to take away from Burley, who's a first-team All-State guy, but they've been the ones who've been most active in blocking.
Yeah, really, outside of that first set run from Burley, he has not needed to be a major factor.
Nope, you're right.
Kander on the left. Can't get it over. And another timeout.
Yep.
St. Ignatius season slipping away here in the fourth set. The Centerville lead is up to 10. Centerville 17, St. Ignatius 7, with the Centerville Elks leading the match 2-1. Centerville looking to join fellow GWalk member Beaver Creek in the semifinal and set up GWalk versus GCL in the semifinals tomorrow. Brown, good strike, somehow got back over. That was Holbrook in the back. Here's Whitehead. Brown, he is letting it rip right now on those two exchanges, but Brandon Moat just in a better spot.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, listen, stop messing with it. Just keep swinging it, and if they're better, right? And right now they're better. In the third set, you were better, and you won the third set because of it.
I got to tell you, I'm looking at Sam Brown right now. He looks like he's on the verge of tears. He's so frustrated.
It's frustrating. Terrific player, just struggling.
They'll go to Kander this time. The block over to Brown. From the back, O'Neal. Right there is Rings. And Greenberg just missed it. Still, though, Centerville can just trade point for point.
Exactly.
From here on out. See if Sam Brown lets one rip. Not even close.
He did.
He's trying to keep himself composed, but it's written all over his face right now. Michael Phillip on serve for Centerville with an 11-point lead.
Here comes the little simple touch serve, and somehow they make it work. Or not.
There you go. There's Kander.
Kander's had a great match.
We have not seen too many low, flat passes like that in a quick play on the third.
Yep.
A good time to diversify the offense, but yeah, you're right. Kander has been really good for Ignatius.
He's a senior.
A lot of this Ignatius team will be back.
Yeah, they will. I mean, this is a really young team. They don't have a lot of seniors that play.
Just 3 seniors on the roster. Moat got it.
You know, Malley has had a really good match as well. Couldn't handle that. He's just a sophomore.
20-9. Centerville trying to put the finishing touches on a 4-set win and a date with Elder in the semifinals.
I think that's going to be a great match the way Centerville defends.
Phillip couldn't get that one. Good swing again from Kander. He's try as he might. Just cannot get over the hump, but now Kander heads out, giving way to Kanzig on serve. But Brown is had an off day. O'Neal has been very quiet. I think the shoulder is fine for Aiden Burley.
Well, that was perfectly received right to the setter dingle or to the setter Rings, and Rings put it on a platter for Burley.
And that's the thing as well with that potential matchup with Centerville and Elder. Both teams do the fundamental things at such a high level, perhaps higher than anybody else in this tournament. And as soon as I say that, a serve is missed. Funny how that works.
It's the
supposed broadcaster jinx.
Yep, there's something to it.
Here is O'Neal. One of that junior class for the Wildcats. Not the best serve receive. Another 50-50, and Holbrook trying to get a little too cutesy with it. Sends it wide. Still, though, a 9-point Elks lead. 21-12 our score.
Another missed time jump.
Still got it to play and still made it work.
Yeah, that's what Burley just tapped himself on the chest to tell his setter Rings. That was my fault on the initial one because he missed time to jump and just got a little contact on it.
Aiden Burley back on serve. 10-point lead. Maley going out wide. Brown didn't get a big run up, and nice play by Hafner.
It really was.
To the back, good play by Walsh. Brown with a swing, blocked, he'll keep it up. Maley with the third, and Greenberg, the wrong read there, trying to send that one back immediately. Trust your defense in that situation.
Well, this needs to be a long, long rally here for St. Ignatius.
Yeah, the youngster, Paul Anger, is going to need the service run of his career.
Yep.
Greenberg couldn't get it. Maley reloads.
Nobody there.
Maley, I think, was looking for Brown, and Brown moved inside and left Liam Walsh, who was not a frontline player, out in no man's land. Parker Rings on serve. Centerville 2 points away from the semifinals. Long. Was it touched at the net?
I don't think. Oh, I guess
yes,
it was. I didn't
was.
think so, but I guess so. Apparently was. No argument from the Centerville side of things.
Richard Peck and Sterling Kamimoku, the two officials of the net, had a long stare at each other before communicating it was tipped. It's now Patrick Maley's service. Rings going across to Moat, who's on the left, and very playable. See if Maley goes back. No, he'll go to Kander. Phillip is there. Very playable.
Yep. Almost turned that into an attack.
In the middle. Was that touched? Yes, it was. (23-15). Maley trying to chip away at this deficit. Now this youngster needs to continue his service run, but he can't do it. And now 9 match points for the Elks. Corey Holbrook, the senior, with ball in hand to send his team to the semifinals, but not before a ball flies onto the floor. Now we're set. Holbrook for the match. And it's over. Centerville just too good from start to finish as they are through. And in Division I, it will be the GWalk versus the GCL on both sides of things as Centerville takes care of Ignatius 3-1.
Yeah, their defense was great. I'll tell you what, those are going to be 2 fun matches tomorrow because I was impressed with all 4. Moeller's guts after playing really well for 2 sets and then kind of frittering it away. Credit to Olentangy Liberty for forcing that 5th and final set, but then Moeller pulling it out. Beaver Creek, like I said, played really, really well in their win over Hudson. Elder looked great earlier today against Jerome, and they were clearly the better team. Centerville, those got some really nice parts, and I'll be honest, I didn't think they played all that well offensively, so they left a little bit in the tank.
That's going to be a heck of a matchup in the semifinals on Sunday. The semifinals in Division I are set. It'll be Moeller against Beaver Creek Sunday at 10 a.m. Elder and Centerville to follow immediately after. We will have the coverage for you here throughout the remainder of this state tournament. But for now, that is a final score in this Division I quarterfinal. Centerville wins it 3-1 for our entire ESP Media crew. And my partner, Richard Skinner, I'm Jason Griefer. Thank you so much for joining us. Centerville joins Beaver Creek as 2 GWalk teams in the semifinals.